Ooh, what's going on, fam? Today, we're gonna talk about our new Metal Pless pusher. You saw us unloading it a couple days ago. We're gonna dive into why we went with this model over getting another one like that, and some of the bonus features that this one might have that that one doesn't. So let's check that out. Starting off this plow, the main difference is actually, besides the nice paint scheme they threw on it, the cutting edge. So this is a fixed cutting edge, whereas the old model actually has what they specify as a live edge. What that means is, I got a demonstration here with some 2x4s. As you can see here, the 2x4 is under the edge. So this corner here is about 2 inches off the ground, where the other edge is on the ground, but everything in between that 2x4 is in a straight line. And if we check out this plow, this is the live edge, and what we got going on here are those silver parts. That's a carbide cutting edge, and each section of that floats, so you can see where the 2x4s are. They got a little angle, but the rest of the plow is actually on the ground from edge to edge. So that is the main difference. The reason we went with a fixed edge over this edge is what I found in the year of using this plow is it's very good for potholes, uneven surfaces, crowns and roads, whatever you're plowing. It conforms to it very well. But if you have hard packed snow or any parking lot that has a lot of vehicular traffic, it struggles to scrape it down. Now, obviously, we don't expect it to scrape it down as good as a bucket, but it still had a hard time scraping it down. So what we're gonna try out this year is the fixed edge, and we're gonna see if that fixed edge does a better job scraping the hard packed snow. Now, any fresh snowfall, this thing did really good in, and it gets right down the pavement. So that's why we went with that edge initially. Let's check out some of the other features on our new plow. So the first thing, and I wasn't even expecting this, I didn't order it like that, was this color scheme they added. It looks really cool. We'll see if it stands the test of the time, like the yellow paint job on the old one. But I like the accent colors, real cool. On the back, they decided to add the silver paint. Again, that looks real cool compared to with the old plow, it's just yellow. Also, talking about some of the other features, so with the new plow, they have a different mounting bracket for the loader. Now, these are two different loaders. This is a Komatsu, so the coupler on this loader is actually different than the Caterpillar. Cat has their own fusion coupler. It's an in-house proprietary kind of coupler. It's only on those machines, whereas the Komatsu has just your standard coupler. So the bracket's gonna be a little bit different anyways, but the part that attaches the bracket to the plow is actually different. What they have now is actual fixed steel brackets. And then what they've included on there is there's a little float gauge, and it's got these nice red markers on here that are reflective, and your operator can actually see it while operating the plow. And so what happens is, as you apply down pressure to the cutting edge of the plow, this red marker moves up and down. And what you want to do is line these two markers up. That's going to give you the perfect amount of down pressure. So this is a new feature for 2020. I was surprised. I didn't know that this was going to come on the plow. I seen it and I already like it, and we've only used it once. So that's a real awesome feature. Some of the other great features about both these plows are the floating edges around the entire thing. So the bottom section of the plow, you can see these springs here, and what happens are these are little flaps, and if you hit a curb or something like that, instead of destroying whatever you hit or damaging your loader, what's going to happen is these springs engage and the bracket just flips up and goes right over it. So it works all the way around. On the front of the cutting edge, there's 2-foot segments, so each segment is going to do that. And then on the wing, these are 6-foot wings, that whole 6-foot section actually folds up. Another great feature about these are the curb runners or the curb guards. So instead of being worried about ripping out a curb and leaving a big space, what you can do is just flip this in and have it go right up against the curb, and you're gonna have a nice clean curb every time you go on it, and you don't have to worry about ripping it out. And you still obviously have to be careful when you're operating, but you don't risk damage like you would if this was just a flat flap. So awesome feature as well. While we're here, check out these wing sticks. I don't know if you guys are familiar with a regular snowplow where you have just like a wire marker. These markers are actually the same thickness as the wing on the plow. So this is 3/8 or 1/2 inch hardened steel, and these wing markers, I mean, look how hefty they are. They're exactly the same thickness. Crazy well built, great engineering. And how these work is when you have the right amount of pressure, like right now we got 2x4 under there. When you have the right amount of pressure, these sit level, and that's how you know you have the right amount of pressure on your wings. So just another visual gauge for the operator in the cab to see what's going on to do that much of a better scraping job. This whole section is on a slide. Right here is your pivot, and you can see that this whole section actually floats as well. So it's going to give you more scraping action when you're using the wing. And this whole wing goes from 180 degrees all the way back, and it goes all the way forward, so you can have a scoop, and you can put it all the way backwards so you can back drag nice as well. Let's take a look at the old plow. I'll show you the mounting on that plow, and you can see a little bit of how it's different from the new one. As you can see, everything is just yellow here. There's no fancy paint scheme. That's not a big deal anyways. With this mounting bracket, what we have is actually it floats, same as the other one, but instead of having steel brackets, there's just a chain here, and there's no visual markers. So a little bit more of a learning curve to use it compared to the new one. Once you get the feeling of it, it's not terrible, but there is just that little bit of a learning curve where you don't have that visual aid. Other than that, it's pretty much the same thing. Couplers are made to order. They don't come with the plow. You just pick out what you need after. Once you get the plow arrives, you'll pick out your couplers and your hose to match whatever machine that you're getting. It was the same as the Komatsu, this one as well. So those go into 2 solenoids. So when either solenoid is engaged, that engages the wing, and that's gonna have your wing moving frontwards or backwards. If none of the solenoids are engaged, that's gonna move your mold board back and forth. One of the things about the plow is you can only move one part at a time. So you can either move one wing or the main mold board at a time, but you have to switch physically between those as you move them. A couple other nice features is they put grease zerks in all the moving or pivoting areas. So all the hydraulic arms have grease zerks, so you can keep those greased up. So do the bars where the plow wing pivots. All that has grease zerks, so you can keep those maintained. And yeah, everything's super stout. That's pretty much it.